Your reaction?
Well, first of all, I'm pleased that it was a civil discussion. Secondly, we got a lot of questions asked, a lot of answers given. But we still need a lot more. This is just a complicated issue. It's an emotional issue. And I just encourage people to, if they're going to sell their mineral rights or leases, do what some of the panelists said. Make sure you know what you're doing. And we're going to have to continue to explore this, and everybody else should do it the same thing.
How did the session tonight meet your expectations?
It did meet my expectations. First of all, I wanted an objective discussion. As a moderator, my role is not to play favorites. My role is to make sure that both sides had an adequate opportunity to explain themselves, and I met that objective.
Was there a fair hearing of both sides tonight?
I believe it was a fair hearing on both sides. We wish there had been more opportunity for more people to ask their questions. I think they only got to question 14 or 15, and I think over 40 people signed up to ask their questions, and that was really the primary goal tonight. So the question remains is whether next week's venue will permit question and answers again, and an airing of other perspectives of the alternative positions on the state regulations versus just being talked at by the state regulators next week. I think that, this was a good kickoff on the issues, but I think there's many more questions, and we hope that there will be opportunities to ask very tough questions.
Will some of your supporting cast be here next week?
I do not know that.
Okay.
It's asking a lot for people to come from New York, Washington, and even Pittsburgh, and so we don't know. But the main thing is, the gentleman from Steubenville wanted to come and talk again. See ya, but he said, well, are they going to have an opportunity for me to stand up and ask ODNR questions? And I said, I can't answer that. So here we are 7 days away from that next meeting, and we still don't know.
With Plain Township trustee Scott Hawes, and want to really co-host in the original stages anyway of this event, and Mr. Ponder got engaged. And what's your assessment of how the session went tonight, Trustee Hawes?
Honestly, I thought it was we both Lou and myself thought it could be a pretty contentious, heated issue, but it ended up being a very civil engagement, spirited discussion. I still think there's a lot of questions that I wish would have been able to be asked by multiple parties, because I think there was a lot of comments that were just made. Some of them may be in the form or intent of a question, but I think we're just still scratching the surface. So hopefully next week we can get some of those additional questions answered when it comes to.
Will there be a Q&A next week? Do you know?
I think that's going to be up to Mr. Ponder, but our understanding from what Lou has talked at our board meetings is that just like tonight, you'll come in, sign up, and there should be an opportunity to put your name down along with the question.
I concur with Representative Schuring. I think the forum was very complete. I know there's still a lot of answers out there that need to be answered, or questions that need to be answered. I have some questions for next week's meeting with ODNR related to regulatory, statutes and being able to control things and make sure it's done in a safe way, and they're capable of doing it in a safe way. I'm going to be speaking more with Representative Schuring about this and our other legislators from Stark County about possibly making some changes to the state statutes as far as adequate bonding to make sure it doesn't bankrupt the community in the event that you have that one incident that happens. The gentleman from the gas and oil industry said there's going to be ban bridges. There's going to be risks. But that shouldn't be at the expense of the taxpayer and the community to take care of the gas and oil industry's risks and their profits. Something like that would occur in Plain Township would bankrupt us. So, this is a serious issue. I still think there's a lot of discussion we have to have with our legislators, see where we can go with it.
Representative Schuring,
yes.
Your impressions?
I thought it was very good, very informative, and I think we'll have more information or questions to be asking in ODNR. but I thought it was a fair and objective forum in which concerns were expressed and questions were answered, and we have much more that we need to learn about this issue, and we'll do that next week. And then I plan on doing more research as it relates to how our Ohio laws compare with the laws in Pennsylvania and New York, where they have much more experience in this area.
Senator Goldslager, can you give me your take on tonight's session?
I thought it was a great, very informative session tonight. I was glad to be here. A good crowd and a bad night. And I thought it was very informative, very well done.
Okay, thank you.